Hello and welcome to Hoga-Higgy Game Day. This is Dylan Hutton along with the head coach for the Marion Scarlet Hurricanes, Joey Carroll, and we're here to ask him a few questions here going into the 2014 football season. Coach Carroll is going into his fourth season here at Marion. This is also Marion's second year here in the Hoga-Higgy district, coming off a 6-4 regular season before losing to Appomattox there in the postseason playoffs there in the VHSL. Coach, how has this season been for you going in?
We had a good off season. Spring was, a lot of our kids, we're like everybody else around here. A lot of our kids play other sports in the spring. They're running track, playing baseball, doing other things. So we don't get to see all of them. But the kids that weren't, they were in the weight room working hard. And of course, in the summer, we hit the summer hard. And we averaged, we had around 30. Probably about between 30 and 35 kids that were with us. Probably averaged around 20 a day amongst those 35 kids. Of course, we always had our regular, there was 12 or 15 kids that I knew I was going to see every day. And that's how it's been here. And, so they've worked hard. It's a good group. They're hard workers. And so we're looking forward to it. We've had a good offseason.
What are some things you learned last season? Marion's first season in the Hoga-Higgy, what are some things you learned? You definitely had a very top-heavy schedule. You played the first group of games, your first 5 weeks you played Hoga-Higgy teams. So what's the difference there moving to the Hoga-Higgy and actually playing district games instead of at the end of the year right there to start off the season?
Well, first I'll say I won't get into the, people have their opinions about district now and conference and all that, and I won't even get into that. But it's as far as, wanting to, district record, we want to have a great district record, just like everybody else. And it is tough, but the way we look at it is, if we have, we got to play Chilhowie week 1, they've got to play us week 1. So, preparation, it puts us in the bind, it puts them in the bind as well. But I would say probably learning first year in the Hoga-Higgy is probably more confirming rather than learning that it's just hard-nosed, smash-mouth football, and you're going to get everybody's best shot every week. They're going to play you tough, and I feel like that it's a close-knit group of coaches in the Hoga. I feel like we all have, we get along real well. And, but once those players strap those pads on, I think there's a respect, just like how any good hard-nosed football should be. But it's going to be hard hitting, and the other team wants to win just as much as we do, and it's for sure.
Another thing about moving to the Hoga-Higgy, it's like we were talking about before we went on here, you were very familiar playing a lot of these Hoga-Higgy teams because you're right here in Smith County.
Right. And we, like we talked about, we played everybody, Patrick Henry and Holston. Once we moved into the Hoga-Higgy, we picked them up on their regular season schedule. And in the years leading up to joining the Hoga-Higgy, we had benefited with Patrick Henry and Holston both. So we were familiar with even each other there, and of course 7-on-7s all the off season. You're always getting together with the local schools, and so we were familiar with them. They were familiar with us, and we're happy to be in the We're happy to be with the group of schools we're with, and it's good football, and we enjoy it.
Moving into everything with summer and fall workouts, can you give us what are some things you worry about as a coach going into the summer, like your lifting program, strength and conditioning, as far as that goes?
Going into the summer?
Yeah.
I think any coach, most coaches in Southwest Virginia, you're always concerned about the numbers. You want to have more. You always want to have more kids, and I think over the past couple of years, it's probably been, I've had to really make myself understand that while we don't have 50 kids in the weight room every day, we don't have those numbers that maybe some of the other schools have. We do have, 15, 20 kids that are in there busting their butt and working hard all the time. And you can take 20 kids that are like that, and you can win football games. So, but I just say that just the numbers. You're always concerned about the numbers in this area. You want more. We've got right at 50 on the roster right now, and we'd like to have 7. They're always, if we had 60, we'd want 8. So yeah, it's just the name of the game. It's just how it is.
It's always something that you're never really happy with.
Yeah, you can always use more numbers, more bodies.
And you're never going to have your full team because you got multi-sport athletes.
Right.
As well. another question here with the graduation of your QB, Trey Crook. Hunter Leffler played a lot of quarterback last year, considering he was playing that backup role. I wouldn't really call it backup role, he was sort of swapping in and out. What are some things that you feel like he's ready to move on with? You feel like he's ready to become a starter here full time at Marion?
Well, I will say he is ready. He was ready last year. He was itching and wanting to take all the snaps last year. But I'll say about Hunter, he's been playing varsity football a significant time on Friday nights since he was a sophomore. He started defensively and he's been playing that side of football since he was a sophomore. So he's experienced as far as Friday night goes. And then last year we got him quite a bit of experience taking snaps. And so that side of it, he's ready for that. And then just doing the thing. He's done a great job up to this point. He knows what we want to do offensively, how we want to do it, the speed we want, what kind of speed we want to do it, and he's done a great job of moving that offense up in the field so far in 2 days. And he's ready to go.
And you run a spread type offense. You feel like that's really where you're going to keep it with him, as far as he fits well into your offense.
Yeah, he does. Every quarterback's different. Trey did a lot of things well that Hunter did well also, but they're just two different quarterbacks. And, but within that spread, spreads is countless things out of the spread offense, and so we feel Hunter fits real well into that system.
That's going to work out good for you. Can you give us the strength of your team that you've seen here the first few weeks of fall practice?
Just a generic answer. Everybody probably says it, but this is my 4th year as the head coach here. And as a whole, it's the hardest working group I've been there. They are hungry. They're ready to go. We get out there for that second practice in 2 days, and I know I'm tired. My feet are but they get after it, and when the whistle blows and they step on the field and they cross that line, they get after it. They work hard. They're not afraid to work hard. They know that whatever they're going to get, they're going to have to earn it. And they're not afraid to earn it. They're not afraid to put that work in to earn it. And so I would probably say that's the strength. And to me, that's probably the strength I'd like to have. Is a group that's going to work hard and come back every day, every practice is ready to go.
Yeah, it's good to see that even though they're tired, they're not going to show it. You think it has something to do with knowing that you got Chilhowie week 1 and you've got to be ready to roll?
Absolutely. But I know that over that way, they're having some great practices too because they've got us.
And that's going to be a great matchup. We're excited to see that as well. We've actually got a question about that later on. You returned Sam Wagner at running back. He averaged about 100 yards a game rushing, or right at 100 yards a game rushing. He also has the ability to run for 175 yards like he did against Abingdon. He's a truly spectacular running back. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the Hoga-Higgy. Can you tell us one thing that makes him such a special player as far as from the running back position and what he might mean to your team from a leadership standpoint coming into this year?
Sam's he's a bull with football. I mean, I've said this before, and I hate for our kids to hear it, but I think I said it in a newspaper interview one time before that if I was playing in the secondary, and we see Sam coming, he busts a trap open or something, and there's nobody there but you and him. I wouldn't be too thrilled. Seeing that 220 pounds coming down at me, and he's just he's a load, and he runs hard, and he's deceptively fast. If he gets it in the open field, I mean he's hard to run down, and so he runs hard. He has good vision too. I mean that's what I think a lot of people don't. You may not pick up on that because he's not a juker, but he has good vision. And he can read blocks, cut off blocks, and he does that. He does real well doing that. And the other thing I'll say about Sam is he's had some tough things recently. He's done a great job. He's been really motivated this offseason and leading into this summer, leading up in 2 days in camp, and you can see that there's something else. He's got something else with him, and so I'm no matter what happens, I'm extremely proud of him. He's handled all that. he's had to take on some new roles, maybe at home, school. So he's, he had to do all that, but he's done extremely well. He's had to grow. He's had no choice, and so he's done a great job. And I'm proud to know that. I'm proud to know Sam Brady, and I'm proud to coach him.
Yeah, he's a great player, and we're excited to see him in the fall. We got a train coming, so we're going to go look. We're going to let y'all go to a look at our sponsors here for the Hoga Hickey Network.
It's a small town, throw down. It's time to all board up. Let them tailgates down, and then it's on tonight, right in the morning light.
Hello and welcome back. We're going to continue on with our interview here. Coach, our first question back here. How do you feel about the new VHSL 90-minute per week contact rule? It's a very vague rule, but
yeah, we talked there. Like I said earlier, we were talking about numbers, and we don't have now. If we had 80 kids, we would probably be involved in a lot more contact than we are. I don't think my philosophy wouldn't change too much. I don't believe in going out there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and having the kids beat up on each other 3 days a week and then getting limp into the game with some injuries and things like that. But now there's a time when you need to be physical in practice. But going back, I don't think it doesn't really affect us too much. We don't there's not a lot of contact built into air practices. When we do have contact, we get it in there and then we get after it. But since it's not going to affect us too much, I haven't thought too much about it. I will say that I feel like I don't know. I don't really think it was broken before. I don't think there's too many coaches, too many high school football coaches in Virginia that are just going out there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and having an hour of contact every day. I don't think that's going on. I could be wrong, but I guess the answer to your question is I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't. I hadn't thought much about it, but it doesn't affect us.
A follow-up to that, do you feel like your players are still going to be prepared, even though it hadn't really changed that much? If you were at a school that had more, let's say they had more kids, like we were up in Eastern Virginia and had a team that was the size of a college team, would it be more of a handicap to you because the only way to learn how to hit is to take hits on each other?
I would say, it would take 2 or 3. I would think it would take 2 or 3 seasons for that culture for them to adapt to that. There are some football coaches that never hit in practice. They just want, they don't believe in it. That's their philosophy, and a lot of successful football coaches that believe that. I think it would there would be an immediate impact, but I think eventually they'd be okay. As far as we go, I don't think it's going to affect us. Because, like I said, it's not going to change our practice plans too much. Now we will be mindful of it. It'll be in my head. I'll be thinking, now hold on a minute, what we've been doing here. But
that's something you didn't have to do before.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think.
But you're still not flirting with that number.
We'll be fine. So I don't know. I would say here in 2 or 3 weeks, I could probably answer that question a little better. I may get in there and all just putting on practice plans and think, daggone that 90-minute rule. But right now, I don't think it's an issue.
Well, that's the thing too, especially whenever you have a scrimmage at the end of the week, you're going to have to count that as your time. Yeah. So it's nothing. That's going to be something I think here within next week when you start scrimmaging and benefit games. That's going to be something you'll have to have a whole week of just no hitting.
Right. It's
that's going to be different.
And there are always the first year of doing something, there are always there may be some changes to that when it's a scrimmage week and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll find out.
And we're talking about contact. How's your team looking defensively this year, coming from last year?
I think now we lost up front in the box. We lost a lot. Trey in the middle. I told the Bristol paper today. He's like a quarterback on defense. He played quarterback on both sides of the ball, and he always prepared. He did a great job of looking at their scouting report, knowing what they're going to do, and to lose a guy like that in the middle of the defense is hard. Now we don't try to replace people. I've never tried to replace. When Ethan graduated 2 years ago, we didn't try to replace him. You know, we just try. We've got kids that step in and take over that position, and they do things well. You know, they may do some other things well. So we're not going to try to replace any of those guys, but I do think that we might be from top to bottom maybe a little more athletic this year. I think we've got guys that really want to run to the football, and to me that's what defensive football. You get hats to the ball, good things are going to happen defensively for you. So I think I feel good now. Like I said, we'll find a lot more out in the next couple of weeks when we go to scrimmage and have a benefit game and get into that first week with Chilhowie. But as of right now, defensively, I feel pretty good at it.
Where do you see your team's strength on defense?
You go back to what I said. I think just athletically, I think we're probably as a whole more athletic than we've been since I've been here, from top to bottom. Even from up, the guys with their hand in the dirt. I think we're athletic. I think they get after it. And we've got some seasoned guys back there in the back end too. That always helps. Having some guys back there, left back at safety, his third year starting safety. So we've got some. Even though we lost a lot up front, we've got some guys back in the back that have played a lot, and they can see formations, and they can call some things out, and so I think that we feel pretty good.
So athleticism is really going to be something to look for.
I think so.
Another thing defensively, as far as that goes, what are some schemes you like to come up with as far as, like, whenever you're playing a team, do you like to go stack a box, or what are some things you like to do as far as? Everybody knows
in this area that people are going to run the football. We line up in the spread, and we like to run the football. We're going to throw it, and I think this year we got a guy back there that can throw it a little more, but everybody likes to run the football in Southwest Virginia, and if you can't stop the run, then you're in trouble. And so we're going to make sure. The most important priority is stopping the football for us. That's our philosophy. We got to stop the run, make them throw the football. We feel like at this level, that throwing the football is tough for some schools, some teams. It's tough for them. So we're definitely going to stop the run first and foremost. That's our number one priority. Then we feel like I said earlier, we feel like we got some guys back there in the back end that if we can force them to throw it, we feel like we can make some plays with it.
We'll move to a little bit more personal question for you. What are some things you want your players to have learned from you over their 4 years here at Marion to take away from football? Maybe a life lesson or even just a football lesson they want to learn. One thing from you, Coach.
Can I give you two?
You can give me two. Yeah.
I think it's real easy as a football coach, and this is kind of something maybe I coached under Steve Wright, and I think he had a quote about how important the game of football was, and I think it's really easy as a coach to maybe come off to those kids that football is the number one priority, and don't get me wrong, it's a priority, but in the grand scheme of things, there are some things that are more important in football, and you've got to take care of those things, and you're going to have your football days are going to be over at some point, and you're going to have, hopefully, 60, 70 years to do other things, and so just to instill that into them, and I would say, just hard work. That hard work pays off. That's, I really believe, it may not pay off immediately, and there may be some struggles along the way, and there may be some things there's definitely going to be things that don't go the way you planned, that you thought they were going to go. But in the end, the guys that work hard, the people that work hard work pays off, and I believe in that, and we try to instill that in our guys, and we've always had guys that work hard, and so I feel like that message is getting through. They're not afraid to work hard, even through some disappointments. We've had, my first year we started off, record-wise, we weren't where we wanted to be, and it was amazing. Week 6, week 7, those guys came in on that Monday to practice, probably more ready to get going than they did when we were sitting there getting ready for week 1. So I think just hard work pays off in the end. That's just what I believe that, and I want them to believe that.
And Coach, we're going to be here week 1 for the Chilhowie game. How big is that for you? A big rivalry game coming in. You've been able to experience it for 9 years.
Yes, this will be the ninth.
This will be the 9th year here at Marion. How intense is that rivalry between the two Smith County schools?
It's you know, and I think we talked before. I think, and there's probably going to be some people, if they see this, that may not agree with me, but there's a level of respect there. You know, their kids aren't that much different than our kids. And our kids aren't that much different than their kids. We live close to each other. We've got a lot of the same type of kids, and there's a respect there. But now, when they get on that field, you can see the switch turn, and on both sides. It's and leading up to it, like you said, I think having that thing week one, you don't have to look too far to find some motivation for the offseason. You know, they got to get ready for that first game, and but it's you know, I don't think in the 8 years that I've been involved, I don't think, and maybe at 1 or 2 times, and I can think of one off the top of my head that, but I think only one time it was you know, a decisive victory.
It's always been pretty close.
You know, it doesn't matter if you know, they could have the best team in the state and we could have the worst team in the state, and it's going to be a tight ball game, or vice versa. It's just the hard-nosed, tough kids out there playing football, and they're going to play until they can't play anymore. And Coach Robbins does a great job with those guys, and getting them ready to play football, and especially for that game. They're always up for that one, and their guys are always up for it. And it's always a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun leading up to it. You know, the crowd's always big and into it.
Well, it's got so much hype.
Oh, yeah.
Hoga-Higgy district game now between 2 county schools, and that really adds up to be a pretty good matchup here in week 1.
Yeah.
And how big is it to go ahead and talk about another rival? You got Northwood this year, second week, of course, and you start off with 2 rivalry games.
Right.
That's pretty much unheard of as far as having them consecutively week after week. And we're talking all about Chilhowie, but the next week,
right,
Northwood you'll be heading over to Northwood.
You have to, you know, it's tough. You can't have a letdown. You know, you put all that work and all that emphasis on that Chilhowie game leading in off season and everything's leading up to it. And then, you know, no matter what happens in that ball game, you got a big one the next week, and you got to get ready for it. So, you know, sometimes it's tougher than others. You know, but it is. I mean, it's I don't want to say strange. It's a different type of situation where we've got those 2 back to back. But again, I feel like in county schools, I feel like, you know, the hype builds up for those games, and people are excited about it. They're always excited about it, and so you know, if I had a choice, I wouldn't change it. I think I like the way it is.
It's definitely an exciting start to the season,
right.
And you always got at least one of them at home, the way it's
Yeah.
home and away like that. Another thing is, how excited are you? We're going to be heading to Northwood too, week 2, to do Marion versus Northwood, back-to-back rivalry games here. We'll be at Marion here for the Chilhowie game, then we're going to go to Northwood. How excited are you to know that you're going to be on the first 2 broadcasts for the Hoga-Higgy Network?
We're excited about that, and you know, first of all, I told you earlier, I think that this is a fantastic thing what you guys are doing, and we appreciate it, and it is exciting. And you know, I'll tell you this, and I'm not downplaying how excited I am about it, because I am. But those kids in the locker room, they know about this stuff. They know what this is going on, and they are, you know, they're pumped about it. They watch on Saturdays. They watch college games. They watch all that stuff and all that to build up. And then, you know, in the fall on TV, that's all you see. ESPN's college football. And so they feel like that they're getting some of that. You know, they're going to be covered. And so they're excited about it. And I think it's fantastic. And we're definitely excited about it. And we're happy you guys are following. So we hope we don't let you down.
Oh, you won't, I'm sure. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to do a little game called Know Your Coach, and then we're going to wrap up this interview. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. It's time for our little game here. We're going to time you and see how quick you can answer this handful of questions. Yeah, we're timing. He hasn't been told any of these questions. It's all fresh, so he's going to have to, as quick as you can answer them, let me know when we can go, Andy. First car.
Oldsmobile Alero.
What was your dream job when you were a kid?
Dream job, I want to be a police officer.
Favorite TV show?
TV show, probably Modern Family.
Favorite movie?
The Bourne movies, Jason.
Second favorite sport?
Second favorite sport. Right now, golf.
Least favorite song?
Least favorite song? Fancy by Iggy, or whatever it is.
Laid back or intense?
I would probably say more laid back.
If you could live in any decade, which would it be?
Right now.
Right now. Favorite food?
Steak.
Special talent?
Special talent. I don't have any talents.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Favorite sports team?
Michigan Wolverines.
Unknown fact?
Unknown fact. Oh, goodness. Unknown fact. My wife is the most wonderful person in the world.
Math or history?
Math.
Most used line as a coach?
As a coach. Probably jog it off, don't walk. We're always constantly on our guys about getting on and off the field.
Favorite vacation spot?
Myrtle Beach.
Your biggest coaching moment?
You'll probably get in that first victory over Joey.
What do you get?
1 minute, 40 seconds.
1 minute, 40 seconds. Is that time with Coach Patterson?
I think Coach Patterson had 1 minute and 20.
Oh, let's read it.
Hey, you beat Mark.
You're in second place now.
There you
Coach
go.
Fry's dropped down to third. He lasted 2 minutes and 1 second, if I'm not mistaken. He had a story to tell about each of his answers.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, so with that, he did a pretty good job there, finished second out of 3 teams, so maybe you can hold that spot there. It's kind of like qualifying in NASCAR. You don't know where you're going to end up. We're third coach in, you're second out of 3 of those. That's not bad. You're ahead of one person at least. You're beating a rival school.
There we go.
That way, right?
Fantastic.
Coach Robinson's going to be seeing if he's going to be like, maybe I can beat that. we got to interview him here soon. But with that, you did a pretty good job with these questions. Did any of them really stun you?
The talent, I mean, that's kind of tough.
Since you got time now, you want to tell us?
I'm good at anything, I don't guess. No, I think I relate to the kids well. I think they know that there's a line. There's a line, and you don't cross that line. But at the same time, I want it to be a relaxed mood and everything. But I think we relate to. I think they relate to me. I'm getting older, but I don't think I'm old enough to where they feel like I'm so distant from them. So
You're
I don't know if
young
that's a
at
talent or
heart.
not.
Yeah, well, that's sort of a talent, I guess we'll call it. Some things you want to talk about going into early football season, scrimmage-wise. What does your Hurricane schedule look like?
Next Saturday, the 16th, we go over to Graham, over in Bluefield, and we'll scrimmage with Pikeview High School and with Graham High School. And then that next Friday, the 22nd, we have Lee High School here for a benefit game at 7 p.m.
Okay, so that's your 2, and then we lead into the 29th, 29th is whenever we have the first game against Chilhowie. So that'll be a big game. Coach, we'd like to thank you for coming and letting us come by and hosting us here.
We appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys are doing. It's fantastic for the great sport of football and for this area and for our kids. These kids work extremely hard, and you feel like it's something that you feel like maybe it's a little bit of payback for them. They get excited about it, and they are excited about it, and they love it. They love the idea of it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, and we'll be back here at Marion for week 1 of the big rivalry game between the Hurricanes and the Chilhowie Warriors. Thank you all for tuning in.